TVHams.com is the official website of the Gentleman Grochowski Show. TVHams.com. You can also go to Facebook and YouTube. Check everything out before it goes away. Going, gone. But one person that won't be going, gone is my next guest. He's the chief comedy officer at Best Corporate Comedy.
Yeah.
I got it right this time.
There you go.
Ricky March. He's been all over the city. Welcome to the broadcast, Ricky.
Larry, it is so great to see you. You're one of my favorite guys to work with.
Oh, you know, because I feed you guys well.
That, and you pay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. I had food, and it was all over the floor when I got there. And he's blaming the poor. This is the kind of guy. Ricky March puts food all over the floor, and then he blames the kid.
First of all, there's no fat guy going to put food on the floor ever.
Ever?
It's going to be in my lap or my mouth.
Okay.
All right, so.
But I go in the green room. He's like, "Where's all the food on the floor?" He goes, "Some kid did it." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, you have a little elf running around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they got to run something.
Apparently.
Yeah, and he's good with the ladies. Good with the ladies.
Good to know.
Yes, but speaking of being good with the ladies. You're welcome here, you know. Tell us about how you are good with the ladies.
I am so good with the ladies. I am alone again naturally, like Gilbert O'Sullivan said. Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, I'm picky.
Okay.
I'm choosy. First of all, they have to be breathing.
Breathing? Well, that's optional in my book, but okay.
They have to be upright.
Okay.
And they have to be at least 8 months younger than me.
8 months?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a good
So that means 41.
Okay, cool. There you go. Mm-hmm. What got you involved into comedy?
I've always been a wise guy.
Wise guy, okay.
And after my second divorce, yes, that's right, 2 divorces, I decided I wanted to do something completely different.
Okay.
So I took a class on how to write jokes. Then I wrote some jokes. And then I got in front of microphones with people 1/3 my age. And I had fun at it. And I made people laugh. And I found success at it. And now it's my passion.
Yeah. And growing up, you were inspired by Don Rickles.
Yes, I was.
What about Don Rickles that appealed to you? What did you like about him?
The fact that he could walk into a room, and I saw him at the Mill Run Theater in Gulf Mill.
Okay.
He could walk into a room and insult people, and they ate it up and they applauded. And I said, I got to do this.
And how do you do that? How was he able to do that? Did you figure out his secret?
Well, he always started by being nice and warming himself up to the audience, and he'd sing his little theme song that he had, and that was his shtick. So he'd be like, "Hey, nice hat. Free bowl of soup come with that hat?"
So it was like a nice and then a slap.
Exactly. No, give it up for this guy. Man, looks good on you. Sorry about the accident. Bus okay?
Oh. Okay.
All
right, that was the secret.
Yeah.
And what was the magic of George Carlin and Richard Pryor to you?
Well, Richard Pryor was a genius because he talked from reality. He didn't just invent jokes. And George Carlin was one of the most brilliant joke writers ever. In fact, my second year of doing comedy, I wrote a joke about a president and an election. And then I read the same joke in George Carlin's book, so I threw mine away because nobody would believe I didn't steal it.
Right. Great minds think alike, though.
It's nice to know. And I don't do an 8-ball of Coke and drink a bottle of wine before every show.
No.
Well, he did, and now he doesn't anymore.
What do you prefer?
I prefer soda water and prayers.
Soda water and prayers, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, well, nothing's wrong with that. How does comedy change as life goes on? The stuff if you were doing comedy early on, how would it be changed if you've grown older? Like now, you said you started a little later in comedy.
Right.
Even in that short amount of time, how has your comedy changed?
Well, I've gotten more relevant to connect with the audience, and that's always tough to do. I don't necessarily talk about politics or religion because it tends to piss people off.
Half the room, probably.
Most of the room.
Yeah.
And what I find as I'm touring the country, it's amazing how many racists there are.
Okay.
And anti-Semites.
Okay.
And I throw it right in their face, and I said, you know what? This is 2017. This is a horrible time to be a racist. And everybody's tush clenches up.
Okay.
And I go, you know who the biggest racists are of all? Hockey players. They'll do whatever they can to get that little black thing out of their area. Even beat it with a stick. That's me making fun.
Okay. And how has your perception of life changed as you get older?
So it's like I'm running out of time.
Well, besides that, but I mean...
Well, here's the thing. Going around and making people laugh and entertaining, I feel young.
Okay.
All right? I don't probably look young. Listen to me, probably. I'm still
good.
clinging to that.
Looks good. Look at him.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good.
Does this shirt make me look fat?
No, not at all. Which is
No,
good.
great, because everything else makes me look fat. The pizza makes me look fat. But anyway, so you can connect. I've connected with college kids. I'm 60 years old.
Okay.
All right. So when I go in front of 19-year-olds, I know how to make them laugh. I can make 70-year-olds laugh. I can make anybody laugh who wants to laugh. And
Right.
women I can make laugh as soon as I take off my shirt.
Right. Well, that,
Yeah.
Did I got to charge you? You got to charge you for that?
I don't.
Yeah?
I pretty much begging and
Yeah?
crying.
Oh, no good.
No good.
Okay. Well, how do you prepare for a show?
I have my material that I've written either for the show. If it's a corporate gig, I write jokes specifically about the company and the industry.
Okay.
If it's just a club gig or something like that, a showcase like you've put on, I have material that I use. And before the show, I always watch a little Don Rickles on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just to get me going.
Just to get you in the mood, get
Yeah.
the juices flowing and
Exactly.
stuff like that. Now, if you're in a bad mood, how does that affect your performance?
It doesn't. I don't bring that on stage. For the time I'm on stage, and as soon as I get the first laugh, that's it.
Right.
Now, when I get off stage, different story. Then all the problems of the world come back and whatever. But after a really good show, I'm so jazzed. I can't sleep. I don't, whatever. And you just want to be with people who want to connect with you and
Right.
and understand that. But it's not like a hard day at the office. It's not.
Right.
And if it is a hard day at the office when you're performing,
Right.
don't do it.
Right, I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're sitting there and you got all the problems, no matter what it is. You got a parking ticket, long laundry list, anything you got to do. And you just got to just get it off your mind and get
Either
up on
that
stage, right?
or make a joke about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dating on the World Wide Web now because my girl left me almost a year ago.
Okay.
And I've had some very bizarro dates, wackadoodles we like to call them.
Wackadoodles.
Wackadoodles.
All right.
And so I incorporated that in a bit, and there was one of these fake profiles who eventually asks you for money.
Oh, okay.
But I was going for it, and so sure enough, she, instead of being a retired flight attendant from Skokie, she lived in Ghana, in Africa. She said, "Is that a problem?" I go, "Heck no." Let's see where this goes. I said, "Do you have any naked pictures of yourself?" She goes, "Why do you want to see those?" I said, "So I can put peanut butter on you." And she sent them. And the next day it was, "Hi, honey, how are you?" is what she said to me.
Right.
And I go, "Oh, I missed you already."
So you're playing with her.
Of course. Of course.
So you think a
We're
comedian...
going to be married August 1st.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Does a comedian need drama to be effective? Does a comedian need to have just so much messed up things going on in his world? Because you said if you want to be a good writer, like you said, in the other room, you take the 5 things you like about yourself, the 5 things you don't like about yourself, right? And you go with the things you don't like about yourself.
Right.
So when you think a comedian, they're better off if there is messed up drama going on in their world.
Everybody's got an observation of what's going on. And I think you can get frustrated by watching not Louis Black, but watching Donald Trump and listen to Louis Black and some of his observations about Trump and Congress and so forth. And a lot of people get that bogged down thing. And what I do is I look at it and I go, man, this is just stupid and we got to make fun of it. And because it'll help you forget about it.
Yeah.
So the only time I had a hard time performing was the week that we had to put my dog down.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't host the show, but I was at the show that I produced, and I ended up doing a couple minutes at the end because I forced myself to. But other than that, I have never canceled a show for being sick or hurt or whatever.
Okay, well, that's
It's what I do. And if I can make you laugh when I'm having a bad day, then I'm really doing my job.
And does an angry comedian do any better than a silly comedian?
I don't know.
I mean,
It's
how do people see when people are sitting there watching on stage and you got 4 or 5 a showcase going on? You have 4 or 5 people. Does one type of comedy appeal more to the crowd in general, or like is it silliness, or do you think a deep person with deep?
I would say
angst,
depends on the venue, and depends on the comic. If the comic is the ability to identify with the crowd and reach out to the crowd, then no problem. I don't care where you are. Like I said, I can make college kids laugh. Obviously, I'm not a college kid. Haven't been for a couple of years now.
Right.
So but I know how to make them laugh because I was in college and I know what it's. I would say, no, it's great to be back here at IIT. It reminds me so much of my college years when I stay up late reading economics books that I didn't understand, learning how to masturbate quietly in a crowded room.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's a skill in itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about props for a comedian? Is that cheating?
It's not if you're a prop comic.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
I like to think that my creativity comes from within. The only thing that I'll do is I'll switch to different characters using different accents and voices.
Right. Now, speaking of accents and voices, at one time you were a disc jockey.
Yes, I was.
And you did. Tell us about that.
I was what was it? WJPZ Syracuse.
Okay.
The top hits and the top sound, Music Radio 12.
Okay.
We played AM radio, and it was
On Channel 12.
yeah, 1200 on your
okay.
AM dial. And it was, the program director had a thing for Super CFL, Larry Lujak,
Okay.
based here in Chicago. So that's
Super
how
Jack,
we,
yeah.
that's how we programmed it.
Oh, okay.
And it was, while I was sitting there doing my own board one day, I couldn't get it to work. So I started talking to myself in a Mexican voice.
Okay.
So I said, Pedro, what's going on there? I don't know, man, but it's not working. I don't know what to do, okay? You got to fix it. So that's what I did.
Okay. And then it just stemmed from there then, huh?
Well, that and the ability that I speak 4 languages.
Okay.
So I learned how to speak in different tones and voices.
Okay.
And I got Chicagoese down pretty good.
By there,
North side, anyhow.
So then then what happened? You said there was a big gap that after you did that before you started doing comedy, right?
Right. I was in Wall Street. I was a trader for a while. I had a marriage and a divorce and a marriage and a divorce. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And a couple of different life experiences. And then I decided, let me try this.
Do what makes you happy.
Right.
Tell us about best corporate comedy.
Best corporate comedy is something that's designed to reach out to corporations for mainly roast humor, because that's what my forte is.
Okay.
And for X dollars, I'll go in and make fun of people.
Okay.
And
Masochistic, huh?
well, if everybody wants to, I'm doing a wedding in September, and these people love it, and they sent me documentation.
So you're gonna roast the bride and groom?
And whoever's in the room.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. At one wedding I did in Wisconsin, the sister of the groom had on a gorgeous backless dress.
Ooh.
And so I said, does anybody want to tell Shanice that she's got her dress on backwards? And the room went wild.
I can imagine, yeah.
It's fun.
And what's chief comedy officer?
It's just a gimmick, like chief executive officer.
Okay.
I just put the thing together, and if I need to, I call a couple of my friends to do it in front of me, and that's all.
Okay.
I'd like to think that it's a major business.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Yeah, chief comedy officer.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Now you received acclaim for a web series called what? Today is Stupid.
Today is Stupid.
Tell us about that.
Today, that's an improvised series that you can find on YouTube under Today is Stupid.
Okay, I hope so. Right.
Right.
That would make sense if it was
Exactly.
If it was, yeah.
Where my very good friend and Chicago playwright Vincent Truman just sit, and the premise for the show is that we are 2 failed life coaches with 4 divorces between us. Mm-hmm. And we're brothers. He's Dr. Stephen Lowell, and I'm Lowell Lowell.
Okay.
And people will call us or write into us,
Okay.
and we will offer suggestions on what's wrong with them and how to fix their lives.
You give them suggestions?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And they're not very therapeutical sessions.
No, I hope not.
No.
Okay, well, tell us about your love for Burns and Allen.
Burns and Allen that's classic comedy,
Yeah,
because Gracie Allen was the best at being silly and coming up with the basic jokes, and George Burns was a phenomenal straight man.
Yeah.
Phenomenal straight man. Nothing he said affected him, except one time he says, I like a cigar every day, but occasionally I take it out of my mouth. It's in reference to sex.
Right, okay.
All right, I know this is cable, but
Well, yeah, think about it. And then you did voiceover work in your time.
I still do. I have a little bit of a gritty voice.
Gritty.
gritty.
But you get all the accents too, though. That probably helps out.
Yeah, generally they want real people with those accents. So I'm not really Latino, so they tend not to hire me for that.
Right.
But if they want something like Advanced Auto Parts, it's the only place to go when your car needs a brake.
Break.
See?
I like it.
I just riffed that right now.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah, we should sell it to them.
All right.
I like it.
You
And
take
then-
20%.
I'll take 10% and just get you out there.
All right, my man,
All
I'm
right.
in.
Now, tell me one last thing. You were contributed to Mad Magazine at one time.
I did. I wrote an article with a guy named Mish Nathan, and we submitted it to Mad Magazine, and it was a parody of songs that I couldn't sing here because they're naughty.
Oh, okay. Too bad.
Yeah, but they bought it for $500.
Okay.
So we kept it and went from there.
Sounds good. Okay.
It was awesome, man.
All right. If people want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can't really.
Why?
No.
Really?
No. It's just don't bother me.
Okay.
I'm huge.
All right. All right, well.
Or they can contact me on Match.com.
Really?
Comic Gem.
Comic Gem. Okay. Well, there you go.
And especially if you're lonely.
You come in here to get to pick up dates, huh?
Well, I got that little kid out there.
He's working the room for you?
Well,
You look a lot better next to him running
we're
around?
going to go home together.
Oh, okay.
Is that creepy?
Could be.
All right. Well, never mind. Actually, Best Corporate Comedy, Cranky Ricky on Twitter, Ricky March on Facebook.
Cool. All right. Thanks for stopping by. For more information, you can always go to TVHams.com, the official website of the Gentleman Grochowski Show. TVHams.com, Facebook, and YouTube.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show.